Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. It's the season finale of the show, so that means we're not holding back. Not like EA Sports, since they're holding NBA Live 2020 back until later this year. Come on, EA, just accept your destiny, retire live, and bring back NBA Street for real.
Volume 2 specifically.
Man, all right, let's get into it. It's 2019 and I can't believe we're still living in the era of the dad shoe. Maybe I didn't really believe that by 2019 we would all be rocking power lacing shoes and riding on hoverboards like Marty McFly and Back to the Future Part 2, but I did believe that the most popular sneakers would be sleek, minimalist, and environmentally conscious, and to a degree that has been the case thanks to the success of stuff like the Adidas Ultra Boost and the Parley initiative to use recycled materials for future kicks. But it has also become the era of chunky trainers with wild colorways and patterns. Brands like Fila and Puma are experiencing a resurgence in relevance and a surge in stock prices thanks to their embracing of the zeitgeist, bringing back long-forgotten models and updating it to fit the demand. Chinese brands like Anta and luxury houses like Balenciaga are taking it even further by mixing their desires to shop with midsole design. Have you seen these sneakers by Li Ning called the Arc Ace? It looks like somebody went to Yogurtland, and while the regular tart flavor was pouring, the idea for these came out. Now when you go out, your sneaker tingle, which is not unlike the Peter tingle in Spider-Man Far From Home, doesn't go off because you saw somebody wearing a rare pair of Jordan Retros or reflective Yeezys. Nope. Now it forces you to look when you see people wearing bulky sneakers that look like they are 2 sizes too big for their feet, when really that's just how much material is being used. And while it's hard for me to say that I'm comfortable with this era, I am comfortable in saying that I think we may have finally found our champion dad shoe. Yep, the sneaker that I feel confident in declaring the winner of the dad shoe Iron Throne is the Nike Air Max 270 React. Now wait, before you go burning your 270s in disgust, hear me out. If you are gonna burn them, shoot me an email because I need a second pair of the Bauhaus in size 11 at a discount. The Air Max 270 React is not a dad shoe in the same way that a Nike Air Monarch is a dad shoe, but make no mistake, it has a lot of dad shoe qualities about it. It's got the vibrant colors, the hefty bottom thanks to the Air Max unit, and it's readily available. One underrated aspect that people aren't really recognizing about dad shoes, the ability to buy one in the store at any time, no matter the price. In the past few months, we've seen high-profile dad shoe collabs kind of just fail at retail because rarity has never been what drew people in. The Air Max 270 React Bauhaus was the shoe's launch colorway, and you can still easily buy them at just about any store. Nike's going to try to make the shoe for Hypebeast as well with a Travis Scott collaboration, but I doubt it will make them even more popular than they already are. Last year, I was blown away by the success of the Nike Air Max 270, which seemed counterintuitive at first because we already had pairs called the Air Max 180 and 360. Like, why bother meeting in the middle? This year, they took a similar approach by combining React and Air, and the result has been money for Nike. So congrats, Nike. I'll send you a Photoshop of the shoe on an Iron Throne or something. We didn't really think that far ahead when we wrote this segment, but let me know in the comments what you think about the Air Max 270 React and if dad shoes are something you've grown to appreciate or not. So Zion Williamson is planning on staying in New Orleans his whole career and has no intention of ever leaving, but he would consider if something were to happen, like say Los Angeles being the coolest city in the world. See you in a few years, Zion. It wouldn't be the first time we got a star from New Orleans.
Dang.
J. Cole might just have debuted the next Puma basketball shoe at one of those famous summertime Black Ops basketball runs where guys like Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell have been seen getting some time in lately. I want to make a joke about the shoe not having any features, but I'm gonna test out another joke here. Okay, here we go. J. Cole might have just debuted the next Puma basketball shoe at one of those famous summertime Black Ops basketball runs where guys like Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell have been seen getting some time in lately. Psh, big whoop. Melo's been debuting all sorts of Jordans there for years now because it's the most screen time he can get. Bam! Nailed it. All right. Congrats or something to Marc Jacobs for receiving the first, and I'm guessing only, Fashion Vanguard Award at the MTV Music Awards. So it's a fashion award at an award show for music videos on a channel that doesn't play music videos. That's like me getting an award for sneaker unboxings at the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. I mean, they have shoes at the store, so that counts, I guess. Before we move on to our next segment, I just want to give a special shout out to Sarah Kurtz over at National Geographic, who wrote a story about this instantly iconic picture of a humpback whale accidentally getting a sea lion stuck in its mouth while it was getting its food on. If you're like me and you were scared for life by the movie Pinocchio and how scary they portray whales, turns out whales' throats are the size of fists, so bring it on, whales. All right, so I made the monumental decision to finally watch Neon Genesis Evangelion on Netflix. No spoilers because because that wouldn't be fair to anybody who hasn't seen the show. And honestly, I think it would take like 6 episodes of Hard Pass and maybe a supplemental podcast to explain what I just watched. But I just want to take this time to recognize the groundbreaking anime series that has inspired countless works of art since it first aired in 1995, and the real hero of the series, a warm weather penguin named Pen Pen.
Pen Pen.
Why? Because Pen Pen is all of us when we watch this show about giant anime robots that eventually evolves or devolves into let's just say more. And also, I think this was the easiest angle for me to talk about Eva without ruining it for anybody. If you are like me, a mainstream anime fan who might have hot takes on Dragon Ball Z like Vegeta is the GOAT or thought that Netflix adaptation of Death Note was a mess, Eva is a lot to take in, especially if you binge watch it like it's a season of The Office. Imagine Dwight's existential crisis every time Jim pranks him and multiply it by a number that hasn't been invented yet and you've got Eva. Now, Pen Pen only appears in a handful of episodes, but he is clutch each time, like Robert Ory in the 4th quarter.
What up, Sacramento?
This warm weather penguin living in a fridge inside the apartment of a high-ranking nerve officer really has no business being there, but you notice him every time he is there. He's never the center of any of the show's major plot points, but his mood perfectly conveys how the audience must be feeling at that specific time. If it's a goofy comedy bit, Pen Pen reacts accordingly, either by giving a deadpan reaction as if the scene is above him, or by acting genuinely shocked when he sees something or someone unexpected. When Pen Pen's roommates are doing battle with the angels, which aren't really angels in the way that we think of angels, we occasionally cut to him watching over the balcony as if to say, well, can't do anything about that. I'm gonna go back to my fridge. And then there are the moments later in the anime where at first glance you might think Pen Pen is so out of place, but really he's the perfect avatar for what's going on, whether it's despair or just outright madness. Everybody has different takes on ways that we feel about Masato. Part of the nuance surrounding her is the role Pen Pen plays as sort of a support animal. Shinji's awkwardness is a great foil for Pen Pen's aloofness, and while we rarely see Asuka and Pen Pen in the same frame, the connection is there even if we mostly see it in cosplay fantasy scenario. By the way, never ever make the mistake of Google image searching any of these characters. So I would like to raise a can of Yabichu beer for my buddy Pen Pen, who was also the original backpack kid, even though it's never explained why he has a backpack. Let me know in the comments below who your favorite Eva character is, and if you'd like to possibly listen to a 6-episode podcast where I tried to make sense of the show, especially the end of Evangelion. I took like 3 cold showers after that. And now for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like the debate over bone-in and boneless wings on National Chicken Wing Day. It's called chicken wings for a reason. Anyway, our Hard Pass goes out to all the old people out there who can't or won't understand what makes people of the millennial or younger generation happy. This happens all the time, but 2 things really got my sneaker tingle going. First, it was a think piece in the New York Post about a mom who spewed a vicious Facebook rant that childless young people were ruining Disneyland because while she has to tend to the duties of being a mother, these kids were partying it up. Okay, here's why you shouldn't take this seriously. Number 1, it's a think piece in the New York Post, and then number 2, it's reacting to a Facebook post. But a number of people did take this seriously, and it started a whole new cycle of old people blaming millennials for the plights of society. It's not unlike the argument that millennials are killing the housing market or the diamond industry or Applebee's. When baby boomers and even some Gen Xers can't figure out how badly they screwed things up from the generations coming up, it's safer to blame the ones who can't do anything about it. The Post think piece claims that because these childless heathens are spending hundreds, even thousands of dollars on trips to Disneyland, they are denying themselves the opportunity to be cultured by going on a trip to Europe or Southeast Asia to discover people not like them. Like the arrogance of the assumption that there's something wrong with picking Disneyland over a Europe trip and to paint foreign countries like they're these strange and mysterious lands for Americans to discover. One of my writers went to Japan on a 3-day trip a few weeks ago. He wasn't there to live out some Last Samurai fantasy. He just wanted to hang out with family and maybe buy some retro video games. Oh, and by the way, Tom Cruise can fly fighter jets in real life all he wants, but I can never forgive him for how The Last Samurai ended. I'm just saying. And then there's the recently concluded Fortnite World Championships, where the winner took home $3 million. When the words video games and millions of dollars come up in the same sentence, programmers of morning news shows around the country freak out and have to give their unwanted and uninspired takes about it. Like, we get it, old man and or woman. You're shocked that this thing that millions of people play, some of whom are your age, and generates billions in dollars in revenue, can hand out a nice bag to its best players? Get to the part already where you think Fortnite is rotting our brains already, so I can tell you that while some video game communities can be toxic, it's no different than the garbage you see in real life. But unlike in real life, there's a mute or a block button to deal with those clowns. As a person on YouTube who likes to think he's carved out a nice niche of appreciating the passion and energy that the kids bring to the table while also respecting the road that those who came before me paved the way for, it's just frustrating that in general we still can't get past the bickering. If a 30-something couple with no kids wants to spend a date night at Disneyland since they have annual passes that they worked hard to earn, they shouldn't be shamed by a couple of the same age with kids. And when kids are out there making that money playing the game that they love and are very good at, they shouldn't have to deal with condescending tweets from olds who last played video games when they were rocking a mullet and wondering if Space Invaders was real. So a hard pass to the olds out there. We post-millennial kids have other things to worry about other than stepping on your lawn, and that's our hard pass. All right, and that's gonna do it for the show. Thanks for watching Hard Pass, and I do have an announcement to make. The show is going to be taking a little break to regroup and refocus and to, well, you know, just take a break. I want to thank the team who makes this show possible and for the people who have watched this show once or were there from the very start. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you soon, but not before you take a look at this picture that is in black and white. No, really, it's in black and white. Only the lines are in color. Gotcha, didn't I? All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.